Absolutely. Mahindra Logistics is the first management that we have on our show today. The company reported a weak set of Q4 numbers. The margins have contracted, supply chain EBIT losses have expanded. We have Rampraveen Swaminathan, who's the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer at Mahindra Logistics. Mr. Swaminathan, good morning and thanks for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about why there was operational weakness in Q4, what went wrong, and do you have any kind of targets for FY25, both in terms of the operational side as well as on revenues? How do you see things shape up?
I think Q4 is actually a robust quarter in terms of revenue growth. I think we came back year on year with around 14% growth. After slight weakness in the earlier part of the year. I think actually from an earnings perspective, excluding exceptional items, earnings were actually positive. Our core business was impacted by some non-recurring one-time charges around discontinued business accounts and one-time IT transition costs. Those added to around 12 crores. Set that off, and I think our core business, which is a 3PL contract logistics business, was actually was in pretty stable shape, and sequentially, actually, gross margins were pretty flat. We also showed a pretty strong improvement in the Rivigo business or the express business, which has been the larger, which has been impacting our profits across the business, and that actually showed a very strong quarter-on-quarter improvement. Losses declined by around 30%, and we are on target to make that business EBITDA breakeven by the first half. So I think it's a mixed set of numbers, Sonia, and I think when you balance them out, some actual tailwinds as we go into this year.
So, okay, if you say that, it's going to adjust itself as we go into the year, you had a 10,000 crore revenue target by FY26. Are you on track to do that? And what do you think the revenues could be by the end of FY25?
I think obviously hard to put a perfect number on this, but we are actually pretty confident about getting to that 10,000 crores in that window of time from a revenue perspective. Obviously, macros do impact us quite a bit, but we feel pretty confident about that. I think this year we do hope to see robust growth. The mobility business has been growing at 10 to 11%. We've kind of turned that around. We hope to maintain that. And the supply chain business has some real strong tailwinds going into the year. So I expect something closer to a historical growth, which has been in the double digits.
All right. Hi, good morning, Mr. Swaminathan, and good to see you. When you mentioned that Rivigo will turn around, and in fact, the first half of the year, that'll turn profitable. So that'll be a small swing factor that plays out. What about margins? How do you see margins pan out for the coming year? And also, I believe that you have an ROE target of 18% by FY26. Tell us more.
So, obviously, we are confident. Obviously, we feel pretty good about hitting the 18% plus ROE targets by F26. So that's not something which we really feel is under stress. Obviously, the big carry in our business has been the MESPL acquisition, as we have been investing in building that network, and on a consolidated full year basis, we had nearly 125 crores of losses in that business. Set that off, the business actually had underlying earnings growth in the rest of the segments. So the MESPL Rivigo business investment is the large carry. We hope and we are confident we will get into break even on EBITDA by the first half. As I said, Q4 was a very strong improvement. Plan to sustain that and reach an EBITDA breakeven, and that will obviously be a big swing factor on consolidated earnings for the company. The rest of business, I think we expect margins to be flat or show some positive velocity, at least for the first half of this year.
Okay, so 10,000 crore revenue, 18% ROE, that those targets for FY26 are intact, as you are telling us. Within supply chain, which is the segment which you're most bullish on? If you can, over the next couple of years, and where is there a little bit of sluggishness?
I think from an end markets perspective, obviously, we are seeing some sluggishness in farm and ag, and I think where we see the most optimism, obviously, is around auto, and I think e-commerce is coming back. We had a weak first half in e-com, but we've had a rebound both in terms of order intake and in terms of reported revenue as well. So order intake has been very strong over the last couple of quarters, really coming from consumer, customer, FMCG, e-commerce, and auto. And I expect that to trend line through the rest of this year as well in terms of order intake for us.
Do you think e-com is kind of bottomed out? Because I think 23 was kind of slow if you look at the full year as compared to the previous year. Do you think it's bottomed?
Yeah, I think 23-24 has been a difficult year, especially the first half. We saw a lot of churn in capacity and impacted us, obviously, as an outsourcing partner for our clients. But we think it's bottomed out for the large part, and we've actually seen some strong growth coming up in specific categories, like small pack, some categories of products on small pack, like grocery, hyperlocal. We are seeing some strong growth there, and that's actually been carrying our velocity as we ended the year.
Okay. All right, Mr. Swaminathan, we'll leave it at that. Thanks a lot for joining in and speaking to CNBC TV18 about the numbers and the way forward. That's Mahindra Logistics. By the way, we have the pre-opening rates that are kicking in right now, so it would be interesting to see a couple